What's good, YouTube? It's your boy JusticeXFalls. We back at it again with another video, and you see what's on the screen. You see the donkey kick. You see the robe. You see the headband. You see the lotus, the cherry blossoms in the background, whatever they call them shits. It is a Street Fighter 6 review. Now, I'm not saying IGN is the end all be all for reviews, but I like to just watch the reviews just to get an idea of what I should expect for the full release of the game. I've played both closed betas, I've played the open beta, and I've played the demo, and I've gotten nothing but great vibes about this game. So let's see what IGN gives this game. My score prediction is going to be a 10. They're gonna give it a 10. 10. Let's go for it. That's what I feel in my heart. Let's go. So without further ado, let's get to the video.
Remember when Street Fighter V came out and a lot of people were disappointed by its distinct lack of meat on its bones? Street Fighter 6 is the polar opposite, complete with an excellent 18-character roster of both new and returning fighters, rendered in a killer new art style, an incredibly ambitious online battle hub that puts all other fighting game lobbies to shame, and just about everything you could ever ask for when it comes to training tools and systems to help you get better at the genre. It's a spectacularly feature-rich fighting game. Street Fighter 6 takes many swings in many different directions, and though not every blow connects, the ones that do are absolute knockouts.
Damn, so my prediction might already be thrown off. I don't think it's gonna be a 10 because he said some blows miss.
The gameplay of every Street Fighter game since Street Fighter 2 can generally be defined by unique
Nice
mechanics.
cross up.
Street Fighter 3 had parries, 4 had focus attacks, 5 had the V system, and now Street Fighter 6 has the drive system.
Yeah.
For my money, it's the best the series has ever seen. Every character gains access to 5 powerful abilities that are all governed by their drive gauge. Overdrive special moves, drive rush, drive parry, drive reversals, and drive impact. Overdrives are essentially the new EX special moves and cost 2 bars. Drive Rush allows you to quickly close the distance between you and your opponent at the cost of 1 bar, or cancel out specific normal attacks at the cost of 3 bars. Drive Reversals allows you to get an opponent off of you while you're blocking their attack at the cost of 2 bars, and Drive Impacts, well, we'll get to those in a bit. I love this system for a lot of reasons, but chief among them is that it opens up so many options, and at the start of every round, you have a full meter and have access to all of them. There's no building this meter up, or worrying about the amount you'll have left over for the next round. I can start aggressively by using a drive rush.
Real quick, I just want to say, I like fighting games that let you, they just give you your meter and you use it at your disposal. And whether it runs out and that's it for the round or it recharges, I think that's a plus. Like, you get your traditional meter that you have to build up, but, you know, for your EX moves and for whatever fighting system is in place for this, it's like the drive system. I like that. It's cool.
Right out of the gate to put on pressure. I could save my meter for overdrive special moves to increase the damage of my combos, or I could fish for a crouching medium kick and then drive rush cancel it to convert big damage off of a single poke. Those are just a few of the options, and managing them makes the already extremely cerebral fighting of Street Fighter 6 even more enjoyable. The way it's handled when you run out of drive meter is also excellent.
Burnout is good,
Your character enters a burnout state where you're completely unable to use any drive meter related techniques. Your opponent's attacks become more advantageous on both block and hit, you take chip damage, and drive impacts are even scarier than before.
Right, even if you block, you take chip
We'll
damage.
get to drive impacts in just a bit. Being in burnout is a terrible position, but it's far from an unwinnable situation. You still move at the same speed, your attacks do the same damage, you still have access to all of your super moves, and while your opponent's drive impacts are a huge threat, you know that they'll be looking to do them, which can lead to some interesting mind games on both sides. Some of the most tense and fun matches I've had in Street Fighter 6 have been when I managed to pull out a victory even while in burnout.
And another thing I like that I noticed, they just showed it there a few seconds ago, was on block, if you're just getting hit with a bunch of heavy attacks, you stagger backwards. I don't know if that's ever been a thing. Like, so it's almost like a fake guard break. It's not a full guard break because you are in a position where, you know, as far as frames, like, you're still pretty far away. Your opponent has to dash in to take advantage of that. but you do get knocked back with heavy attacks. Like, you're not just sitting there blocking everything. So you can't sit there and block all day. So I like that too. That's a little nice touch that I noticed. I don't think that was in Street Fighter V.
Now, let's talk about Drive Impact, because I have a feeling that for a lot of people, whether or not they enjoy Street Fighter 6 is largely going to come down to their feelings on this one move. Drive Impact only costs 1 bar of drive meter to use. It has super armor that can absorb up to 2 hits, and if it hits while your opponent is in the middle of their own attack, they will be knocked into a crumpled state.
You can grab out of that
combo.
though.
And that's not all. Even if they block it, they get blown back and lose half a bar of drive meter. And if they get backed into the corner, you get to follow it up with a combo. That's not all either. Remember how I said that it's even more scary when you're in burnout? Well, if you block a drive impact and you're close to the wall, you get stunned, and you'll eat a full combo in the corner, even though you block their attack.
Yeah. And that knockback thing, it also works for the drive parry, obviously. The drive with the drive system, that's cool too. Because I noticed even doing a string of heavy attacks also causes a little bit of a knockback as well. I don't know. Maybe I'm bugging, but that's what I saw when I was playing. I've played everything. I've played the open beta, closed beta, and the demo.
It's one of the most powerful universal mechanics I've ever seen in a fighting game. And if you don't respect it, you will get crushed by it. And yet, I love drive impacts, because they're tuned so that they're just reactable enough to be defended against if you're looking out for them.
Yeah, it's hella telegraphed. You can see it coming.
Catch you by surprise if you're not. All you have to do is drive impact them right back.
Yeah.
Absorb their attack, hit with yours, and now the roles have been reversed so that you get the opportunity for a full combo. Countering drive impacts is just so incredibly satisfying, especially when it's the key to you turning the tables around and winning a tight round.
Sorry, Bob. New World Warriors.
Street Fighter 6's roster of 18 characters is mostly familiar, with 12 returning characters and 6 being entirely new. But even the returning characters feel fresh thanks to new quirks added to their movesets. Ken's command run, for example, now changes up the properties of several of his special moves when he uses them out of it, giving them EX-like properties without having to spend drive meter on them. Cammy can now charge her special moves and give them V-trigger-like qualities. And DJ has a ton of new feints that make him an extremely tricky character to use and play against. The New Blood, meanwhile, are some of the best additions Street Fighter has seen. Kimberly is a clear standout, with a ninja-inspired moveset that has her closing the distance with quick teleports, pile driving you into the ground with a Izuna drop like air throws, and mixing you up with tricky leaps from half a screen away.
Yeah, Kimberly's
Jamie,
kinky.
Is a drunken melee powerhouse who is able to buff himself by taking swigs of his flask. And once he takes 4 drinks, pretty much all of his moves become extremely dangerous, with multi-hitting attacks that left me totally clueless on when it was actually my turn to fight back, forcing me basically to lab against him in training mode. Pretty much every Street Fighter character archetype has representation here. You've got your grapplers in Zangief and Manon, your rushdown fighters in Ken, Jamie, and Cammy, your zoners with Guile, Dalstein, and JP, and your powerhouse bruisers in Marissa and Honda. It's everything I want out of a roster.
Yeah, it's a pretty balanced roster. I like it. And now here we go, the mode that I'm waiting for.
It's an ambitious single-player mode, and while it is a big step up from Street Fighter V's attempt at a cinematic story mode and anything else Street Fighter has done before, it's certainly the weakest part of Street Fighter 6. It's at least a great idea. It's a surprisingly enormous RPG that allows you to take a created character into the world of Street Fighter, interacting with the playable roster by becoming their disciple and learning their moves, and then building them up from scratch by leveling up, equipping various types of stat-altering gear, and selecting powerful skills. It also does a good job of teaching new players the fundamentals of Street Fighter 6 by including lessons as side quests, with steadily increasing difficulty over the course of about 20 hours. However, RPGs live and die by their stories.
20 hours.
The story of World Tour is unbelievably dull. With paper-thin characters,
I don't care about the story,
plot twists, and a mute protagonist whose main purpose is just to be an errand boy for various gangs and factions, there's
I don't care about that
to get excited about. It feels like it was written with the primary purpose of having your character jump around to various countries to meet the roster characters, and yet it never really bothers to justify those trips. In one chapter,
I don't care.
a gangster all of a sudden tells me that I need to get her bag back that my buddy stole. And so, without any objection, the most reasonable solution is for me to make a global trip to Rome in order to fashion a counterfeit bag that I can hopefully use to fool the gangster into thinking I got her bag back. In another chapter, I had to go to Jamaica and Brazil because my original mentor wanted souvenirs from those places and I guess just doesn't know how to shop online. At least the tone is goofy and fun, which is a great fit for Street Fighter. You can fight just about anyone on the street, regardless of whether they deserve a rising uppercut to the face or not. It's fun to
you could start the fight like that? I didn't know you could do that. I would have been doing that in the demo. Oh man. Content creators, we about to go crazy with this game, with the clips.
Looking moves like the spinning bird kick to cross gaps like you're a human helicopter. And there's a surprising amount of enemy variety, many of which do an admirable job of teaching newer players how to deal with specific situations that will come up outside of story mode. Some enemies will favor blocking high, making them vulnerable to low attacks. Others will stay permanently in the air and must be brought down by anti-air techniques. And others still will try to hang back and pepper you with projectiles, forcing you to fight them like you would a zoner type character. And then you also fight refrigerators and Goombas. It's weird, but in a very amusing Yakuza-esque kind of way.
Right,
There's
it's
also
ridiculous.
a variety of fun minigames that do a great job of gamifying techniques that you would actually use in a typical fight. In one of them, you have to chop bottles by holding back for a second and then quickly moving the stick in the opposite direction and pressing a button, which is how you would perform charge-type special moves on a character like Guile or Blanca. Another has you making pizza by quickly performing special move inputs as they appear on screen. And another still has you using your combos to quickly destroy a big rig in a nod to the original car busting minigame from Street Fighter 2. The best thing about World Tour though, and the thing that really serves as the carrot at the end of the stick, is the promise of being able to outfit your character with moves from every other fighter.
Okay,
By
so
the
I
end
guess
of the campaign, I could use Dalsim's teleport.
So I guess you unlock Eternity after you beat the story, or some point during the story, because we don't know much about Eternity, other than they're like gender non-conforming, as far as what I can see. I don't know. I could be saying that wrong. You know, non-binary. I don't know.
Is the promise of being able to outfit your character with moves from every other fighter. By the end of the campaign, I could use Dalsim's teleport to instantly appear behind an opponent, hit them with Zangief's spinning pile driver, and then use Ken's Dragon Lash kick to get right back up in their face. Being able to customize my character in ways that would make them absolutely broken in the real game is a lot of fun. The issue is that it takes forever to level up a character's style to the point where you learn new moves from them. You do this simply by using them, but even though I only used Luke's and Ken's throughout the entire mode, I still didn't max out either of them. Those who love a good grind may enjoy having plenty left over to unlock after the 20 or so hours it takes to complete World Tour, but I would have liked the drip feed of new unlocks to be substantially faster, considering the sheer amount of rewards that there are to unlock by maxing out the ranks of
The
each
music
character.
is fire.
I have many more issues with World Tour, but even despite them, I still had a fun time with it by the end. It's a mode that's more directly aimed towards
it's a net
people
positive.
without a lot of fighting game experience, and I think those people will get a ton more out of it than I did. The character customization elements are great. The way it incentivizes fundamental lessons of how to play Street Fighter 6 by dressing them up as side missions and minigames is extremely well done. And there's just an overwhelming amount of content to discover with two very large open worlds to
all the
explore,
games in the
both of
past,
which
wow.
have day and nighttime versions that each have their own set of side missions to discover.
Here we go, the battle hub.
Another reason why you might want to go through World Tour mode is that you're able to take your character and all the gear that they've earned into the online Battle Hub, which is an online social space where you could queue into both ranked and unranked matchmaking, or pull up a cabinet much like you would in a local arcade and await challengers. Online lobbies are not a new thing in the world of fighting games, and truthfully, I've never been the biggest fan of them. But Street Fighter 6's implementation of the Battle Hub has won me over. For one, it's super cool to look at because Street Fighter 6's character creator is absolutely wild, and gives you the freedom to make beautiful creations with finely tuned features, or unspeakable monsters with out-of-this-world bodily proportions.
Yeah,
And it's
wildin',
fun to
they
just
wildin'.
wander around the hub and see what people
People's
have
gonna
come
be
up with.
making-
There's also a lot of things to do beyond.
People gonna be making One Piece characters, One Piece body shaped characters. Like, wow, y'all be doing too much. But teach them.
Just parking at a cabinet and playing with either friends or random players. There's a section of the hub where you can play a rotating selection of classic Capcom arcade games like Final Fight and Street Fighter 2, another section where you can play extreme battles with party-like rules and gimmicks, a store where you can purchase more customizable clothes for your avatar with in-game currency, and you can even pit your created character against others in avatar battles. But the most important thing about Battle Hub is that it's all optional. If you don't want to deal with it, you don't have to. You can simply queue up ranked or casual matches via a menu, go into training mode while you wait, or create a custom room for multiple friends without ever having to go through the Battle Hub, which is exactly how it should be.
Little things.
What really pushes Street Fighter 6 over the edge is how it completely nails virtually everything outside of its main modes that you could ask for in a fighting game. Based on my experience playing pre-launch and in all 3 betas, including the open beta, its netcode is excellent. It's got the best training mode I've ever seen in a fighting game, complete with frame data, cancel window data, and a ton of other useful things. It's got extremely helpful character guides that make it very easy to learn a new character from scratch, combo trials that teach you practical combos for a variety of situations, load times are extremely quick, and rematches are nearly instantaneous. You can search for replays with a ton of different filters to help you learn matchups. There's crossplay across Xbox, PlayStation, and PC. There's frame data when you're spectating. You can create and join clubs, and the list just goes on and on. Many fighting games also have these features, but very few have all of them, and especially not right out of the gate. Street Fighter 6 also deserves credit for really making an effort on welcoming newcomers in innovative ways. On top of World Tour mode, there's also a new modern control scheme that allows you to play without having to worry about character-specific
it happened there.
Or combo.
The heavy attack, or if you hit them with a if they block a special attack or heavy attack, it happened again. You get there's a little bit of a blowback. There's different levels of blowback. You don't just sit there blocking it, you know, all the time, which was something that blows mine in a lot of fighting games. It's like there's no way to guard break.
Special moves are mapped to a button and a direction, much like Smash Brothers. There's one button each for light, medium, and heavy attacks. You can execute combos by holding down an assist button and mashing one of the 3 attack buttons, and you can use super moves just by pressing 2 buttons at the same time. The playing field is kept even by the fact that those using modern controls don't have access to a character's full repertoire of normal moves. But being able to perform special moves with just the press of a button is a trade-off that makes the modern control style appealing even for those who aren't beginners. And for those who just want to hold forward and mash on one button to execute special moves and combos,
you have an even easier mode, dynamic mode.
That's only usable offline.
For the button masher mode.
The AI choose the attacks for you. Capcom's really just covered all their bases here.
Because I remember I was talking to my boys online. I posted something about this, and he said, "This is not it." Because I was basically saying, like, people that's complaining about modern controls, like, you're being crybabies. Like, if y'all really that good, you'll be able to beat them player that's playing modern controls. Because if they're playing modern controls, chances are it's going to be a newer player 9 times out of 10. Now, some of the OG players are doing modern controls as well, so that'll really test your skill if you're a classic control player and you've been playing Street Fighter for all these years. That should really test your skills then. Or you could join them and play classic controls to level out the playing field. I feel like this is going to bring a lot of more people into fighting games. I feel like for too long, fighting games have been like this gate-kept community, you know, where it's like super intimidating for new players to get into. And I think that that's corny. Like, gaming is supposed to be for everybody, you know? So let it be for everybody. Let's try to accommodate people let's accommodate our veterans. Let's accommodate our newer players as well. I think Street Fighter 6 is going to be the game that starts to set things in motion in that way. That's my opinion. So here we go with the verdict. I said 10 out of 10. So let's see what they give it. I said 10 out of 10 before.
Street Fighter games are always benchmark moments for the 2D fighting game genre, but Street Fighter 6 feels extra special. The drive system is an incredible addition to the fighting mechanics that gives you a veritable Swiss Army knife of options and meter management decisions right from the start of every round. The starting roster is the best that Street Fighter has ever seen. Its online netcode through 3 betas has been impeccable so far, and the number of smaller details that it nails right out of the gate is unprecedented. It's so good that even the poor story and extremely slow progression of the single-player world tour amounts to only a jab's worth of damage on its metaphorical health bar. Whether
So
you're
he gonna give it a
completely
10.
new to fighting games or are a seasoned vet, Street Fighter 6 is a must-play.
9, okay. 9 because he didn't like the story. Okay, he didn't like the story.
For more Street Fighter 6, check
Fair.
out the first minutes of the game. And for everything else, keep it here on IGN.
Fair, he didn't like the story. Okay, so that was cool. So, yeah, that was Street Fighter 6 review. I figured it would get a 9. Let's look on, let's see if there's anything to see on Metacritic just yet, because I know IGN is not the only one to get their hands on it. Now, people say, oh, people act like Metacritic's in the bit. It's not, but it gives you a good idea of what people think about the game. It's an aggregator. It's just taking all of the scores. It's like not biased or anything. It's just taking all the scores from all of the review outlets, the popular review outlets, and they're just putting them together. Third best PlayStation game of 2023 already. Street Fighter 6, Resident Evil 4, and Tetris Connected. Wow, Tetris Connected? Y'all like Tetris like that? Okay. You know, I ain't gonna argue that. Tetris, that's an OG game. It's one of the first, games. RE4 remake, of course, must play. Street Fighter 6 is also gonna be a must play. Okay. And let's see the user reviews. I don't know what it is. There's none yet because the game's not out yet. We don't have it yet. So, yeah, game comes out in 2 days. I'm definitely gonna pre-order right before it comes out, basically, because I get paid a day before it comes out. So that's when I'll be pre-ordering it, and I'll we'll definitely throw some more content up because this game is just ridiculously fun. Like I said before, even when I was getting my ass kicked, I was having fun. But I figured it out. I took my time. I figured it out. And, there's only one mixed review, 65 positive, one mixed review. And the mixed review says Street Fighter 6 in the simple form remains a fantastic, fun experience, retaining the same gameplay that has been tweaked and improved throughout the years to ensure it remains at the top of the pile. Jarring attempts to meet the needs of young players along with World Tour mode failed to meet the hype placed on it, however. Stop this from being an essential purchase. Stick to the arcade mode and enjoy it. No, we're not doing that. Cubed, no, you're a dub. I don't fuck with your review. And we're not even going to get into why because I've already explained why. But anyway, y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments. We can talk about it. Street Fighter 6 is coming out. Get it. Regardless of what Cube 3 says. So, y'all already know the vibes. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. This is your boy, JusticeXFalls, and we out. One.